This is lesson 50 and it's part 1 of lesson 50. So please watch this lesson, go do your lesson practice that goes with these questions, and then come back and watch part 2. And this is decimals on a number line. Now this should be pretty straightforward for a lot of you. You've done a lot of work with number lines at this point. We've done fractions on a number lines. We've done decimals a little bit on a number line, looking at it in centimeters and inches. So this is just a little bit of a review. So it should go pretty quickly. Okay. Now, first of all, number line has arrows on both sides of it because it is a line, and a line goes forever and ever and always. If this was a number segment, if this was a line segment, I would have dots at both ends. So it is as a number line. Now, the other thing you need to look at whenever you look at a number line like this and you start having things like this, in there, is you need to know how many spaces are between your whole numbers. So these are your whole numbers, okay? They are often indicated on a number line by being the bigger or bolder numbers. These are your wholes, okay? Everything in between is not quite a whole, okay? Same thing as when we look with decimals. This side is whole numbers. This side is not whole numbers, okay? These are pieces of a whole number. This is a whole number. So in this case, you are writing a whole number and a decimal number, okay? So let's look at A. So A equals, well, I pass 1 and I'm not quite at 2 yet. So that means my whole number is going to be 1 and I'm going to have a decimal. So 1 and, let's figure out how many pieces we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there is 10 pieces between 1 and 2, which means I am looking at the tenths column. Okay, if there was 100 pieces between 1 and 2, you'd be looking at the hundredths, tenths, and potentially tenths and hundredths. Okay, if there was 1,000, you'd be looking at thousands. If there was 10,000s, you'd be looking at 10,000s. But right now we're looking at the tenths because there is 10 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 between 1 and 2. Now we count how many pieces A passes before stopping. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A is the 7th piece, so we're going to write 7 in here, and we have 1 and 7/10. B, we're going to do the same thing. We start with, where's your whole number? Well, you are past 2, but you're not quite at 3 yet, which means your whole number is going to be 2. That means I now have a decimal place because the bit in the middle is not yet a whole number, so it's going to be on the right side of the decimal. Let's see how many places it goes. 1, 2, 3. 3/10. So this is 2 and 3/10 is B. Okay, this will be the same for all of your number line and decimal number line places. For the most part, you will just be working in tenths. Not a lot of the time will you be working in hundredths because that's going to be quite a long number line. So a lot of it, in all of your questions, I believe inside your book, you will be working with tenths. So just remember that you're going to have a whole number and then something in the tenths column. That is lesson 50, part 1, decimal number lines for course 1.